Well, I know this is going to be hard to believe because I had trouble believing myself. I mean, I follow this stuff every day, and I'm still shocked. Now, look at what's happening in the states now. There are states that have so much rent grant money they can't get rid of it. And Colorado just announced they've only gotten rid of like half of what they have available. They have like I don't know six, seven, $800 million available, and they only gave about half about that. And that's because, see, it's given in two different uh, programs. So there's ERA, Emergency Rental Assistance One, and this is just the data for Colorado. But here's the data total for the U.S. on top. The total U.S. for ERA, and they're both about $21 billion. They only gave out 68% of the money so far. And ERA 2, they only gave out 20% of the money so far. So you're looking at 50% or more of this rent grant money that's available. And because it's uh, two clumps of money they're getting, a lot of times you called up and they said, well, we don't have any more money. Well, that's for that one, another one. So you have to bang on these people where to go. Okay, where do you go and where do you start banging? So even if you, I mean, to me, even if you applied before and they said no, you apply again because things are changing, because that's another thing they're changing. Not only is there new money, they're making it easier to get out the money because they can't get it out. They're increasing the income levels. And listen to this, you don't even have to be affected by the pandemic. There's your pandemic programs that help people through the pandemic. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter anymore. They can't get rid of the money. So anybody who needs money is fine, whether it's pandemic related or not. So, when they start doing that, man, they have trouble shoveling out the money. So that's what you have to do. And the only thing you can do is apply again, check somewhere else. Now, here's what to do that. Okay. The best place to find out about the grant money for rent is at the consumerfinance.gov. And what you're looking for is federal rental assistance. Okay. And then here, how to apply to federal reference assistance. And it tells you who's eligible and things, but that is changing too. You got to get local. Don't believe everything here. That's just a guideline. You got to get the real answer from the people giving out the money. Okay. Consumerfinance.gov is just people like me, but they're a little better because they have access to the government better than I do. And so you go and you find out where it is. Find a rental assistance program for your state, tribal, local area. You go there, okay? And now you put in your address and you find the address to apply for locally. Okay, but then you don't stop there. If you find that and you apply and they say, well, we don't have any money or yada, 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 they always have some reason, right? So then you go to 211.org and you put in rent there too. And you call everyone, even if it's like rent for people on Mars, as long as it's a rent, something to do with rent, you call them anyway, even though you don't seem to be eligible by the title or what they say, because they know of the rent programs and the other ones. So they're best to tell you who does really have something for you. Okay, and you have two sources for that, 211.org and findhelp.org. So you put in your zip code and you call everyone that shows up. Just don't look for the ones that look obvious. Sure, try the obvious first, but if that doesn't work, you stretch, man, because that's how you find something. I mean, the only way you get help in this country is that you got to be a grant gopher. It takes digging. And if you're not ready to act as a grant gopher, you're just not going to hit a home run, because that's what it takes. I mean, it's easy to be misled. It's easy to, I don't know if you've been following videos today, but I gave some false information yesterday. And I called the government up and said, no, that's right. It just wasn't right yesterday. It's right today. So you can't trust me even. That's right. You have to go to the people giving out the money. They know, sure. And that's what we do, is we specialize in showing you sources. Sources are more important, because then when you get a source, they could tell you what's good or bad about anything, and if you should apply or not. And if that isn't right for you, they tell you who would be right for you. And that's the key. That's what you need to survive. That's the only thing, way to grow in this country and learn and take advantage of what's out there, the fruits that's out there for everybody, if you're ready to be a gopher. Actually, that was the most, before Google and things like Gopher was the first thing. It was called, the first database search on the internet was called Gopher. You had to learn how to use Gopher. But you have to be a gopher now, because we're way past that stage.